All right, guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. A lot to dive into and discuss in today's video regarding some more roster updates and drama or news, or maybe a little bit of an explanation as to what's going on with the FURIA roster and what was going on behind closed doors and in their heads as well. I'm Madness giving a little bit of an explanation as to what happened. Also wanted to make mention of some drama going on in the PSQ right now. Number 4 finals is going on for EMEA, and we also have the North American finals taking place tonight as well. Also, there is a developing story over in the APAC South region that I want to comment on, but I'm holding off until I have more information because I don't want to speak out of line because it is a weird one. There's a little bit of accusations going on about collusion, teaming up against another team in order to, basically have one team make it. So a lot of stuff to dive into. We will cover that soon though, so stay tuned. And like I said, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's dive into it. First thing I want to make mention of was coming from this team that was just recently banned minutes before, 50 minutes before ALGS PSQ number 4 finals began. This team right here, 3 Dragons, has been banned. One of their players named Sunzi basically did not get a reason in the email as to why his account was disabled, why he was banned from the ALGS team, but his teammates Julius comes out on Twitter to say his teammate got banned with no reason, can't log into his account or anything. They have no one to contact. We're super confused and we need help ASAP because Pro League final starts in 50 minutes and we need help. No ban on Battlefy either. It's extremely confusing because basically their account on there says that they're fine on Battlefy, but the in-game account is disabled. And it seems like just a couple of days ago we had a similar issue with Red Dragon, however you pronounce their name, but basically they got falsely IP banned. It was confirmed by a developer that it was a false IP ban, and because they got falsely IP banned, they could not play in the tournament. Therefore, they got disqualified. Therefore, they missed Pro League, and they were the number 1 team in points. And basically, they got screwed over, and they got no answer. They got no fix, and it was just all said and done just like that. It was extremely disappointing. And now it seems like we might be having a recurring issue, maybe another false ban. Who knows exactly what's going on, but the fact of the matter remains, we have seen an absolute influx on teams getting banned with no help, no situational awareness, no answers, no one to contact, no quick admin support, nothing. The show must go on. They go on without it, and they just leave the team that had a massive opportunity in the dust. And so right now you can see this team, 3 Dragons, was the number 7 team looking to get into the top 4. Now, if they won the PSQ tonight, they would make it into Pro League. And if they did not win, they only had to get top 4. And to my knowledge, the number 2 team is not there. They've already been knocked out earlier on in the tournament. I want to say the number 3 team is not there as well, but I could be wrong. And I'm pretty sure there are some more teams in this list as well that also were not in the finals because they were knocked out earlier in the tournament. So this was going to open up the gateway traumatically for 3 Dragons to get into that top 4 and make it into Pro League. And then this happens, the sudden ban coming from Sunzi. It sucks. Really hope they can get this stuff fixed because, man, this has been an absolute crap show. Also wanted to mention the FURIA announcement yesterday. Of course, FURIA finally announced their roster officially. Of course, we already knew what was going on, but HisWattson and Madness and Keon are playing together, of course. And a lot of people are talking about this whole decision as to what's going on with the Vaxlon HisWattson thing. Is this a good move? Is it a bad move? I really wanted to highlight also not only why they decided to drop Vaxlon, but also basically Madness wanted to explain what was going on because they were getting a lot of hate for being, shady or whatever. But I also want to make mention as to why HisWattson is returning, because last we saw, he said he was done and he was out and he didn't want to play no more. And it just kind of seems a little bit odd that he's back. Well, why exactly is he back? Well, I guess I didn't put the video in here, but I can talk about what's going on as well. Basically, Madness goes on in his video earlier, and you'll see this right here as well, this video, and he explains that FURIA had actually been trying to get HisWattson to return for quite some time, and HisWattson had decided that he would return if it meant he could play with Keon and Madness. Now, this team does have a little bit of history. They actually were the number 1, number 2, number 3 Apex Predators at the time, playing ranked together, so they had chemistry together. HisWattson also basically is returning under the conditions of having a pick of the litter kind of mindset. He didn't want to IGL, and now he doesn't have to. Madness gets to IGL, and HisWattson gets to come play his game and feel free and happy and whatever. He also gets to play with the teammates that he picked, that he wanted to play with. So it really is just free range for HisWattson. And of course, this may make it a little bit less stressful for his return, and that's probably, and according to iMadness, that is one of the bigger reasons that HisWattson had decided to return. Number one, he said that he would come back if it meant he could play with Keon and Madness, and number two, he doesn't have to IGL anymore, and so of course it makes a little bit more sense looking back at it. Also wanted to mention though, Madness basically answering the questions as to why they decided to drop Vaxlon, because a lot of people were giving them a lot of hate about this, saying that this was shady and whatnot. Well, basically Madness goes on to explain, and it doesn't seem like it was as shady as many wanted to put it out to be, but basically saying it was simply a financial decision. Roll the clip.
As many of you may know, we're no longer playing with Vaxlon, and we're going to be playing with HisWattson moving forward. And there's a lot of controversy around this because we were doing extraordinarily well with Vax, and to be honest, neither me or Keon wanted to stop teaming with Vax. That's not what we wanted to do, and that wasn't in the plans. Me and Keon did almost everything we could to not have to leave Vax. I still, and we both still feel strongly that that roster would have been, and would have done amazing things in Apex. But the reality is Keon and I both have bills to pay. It was a very hard decision for us, and it happened very fast. About a month or two ago, me and Keon actually had an offer for FaZe with Snipe, and we ultimately kind of turned it down because we just picked up Vax and things were going really well, and we felt like it clicked, and we just didn't really feel like the FaZe roster kind of thing would work. So we actually turned down the FaZe opportunity because we just wanted to stick it out with Vax and see if we could find something. Now, fast forward a little bit, you have amazing tier 1 solid performing teams like XLG with Yanya, Juarez, and their whole roster getting released from LG, and they're now a free agent team. You have Phony's team with Frex and Zainu, a LAN champion player, also a free agent in the market. So currently in Apex, you have such a huge array of teams, free agent teams, that will guarantee solid results. And I'm not saying that we won't. I know we're a team capable of it, especially with Watson. I definitely feel like our opportunity here and our capabilities have not changed much. There's a lot of teams that I feel like would have gotten priority over an org over us, especially because those teams are recent LAN qualifying teams. And because of the roster changes that we've been making over the last year or so, I haven't qualified for LAN, and that's the reality of it. And the way Apex's current ecosystem is, with organizations not really joining Apex, I really do not see us getting an opportunity unless we would qualify for LAN, which would be several months down the line. Keon has already told me that if he didn't have like an org after split 1, he was probably going to quit Apex and move on, so I'd have to make another roster change again and start all over again. The reality was I didn't see myself, and I didn't see us getting a better offer. I do not make enough money from like streaming revenue to pay my bills, pay for groceries, rent, insurance, internet, all that stuff. I don't make enough money to cover all of those things. I make just enough to do that, but I'm not making money net per month. And that's the reality of it. Not that anybody needs to know my financials, but I was smart enough when I was like on COG and winning everything and making like my stream was massive. I saved a lot of money. So I have a lot of money saved. So I'm good. But it's the idea that I am losing money every month that is not good, right? From an adult standpoint. I'm not saying this as in like a way like I don't want to play with Watson, because I think he's an amazing player and I know the team will work. So that's why I ended up ultimately pulling the trigger. But it was a financial opportunity, and me and Keon could not afford playing the game for free anymore, and we did not see an opportunity rising again.
So obviously this is where a lot of people, you know, I guess were a little bit confused or mixed up on during the time that all of this was going down. Everybody was making assumptions as to what was happening, and you know, so-and-so snaking so-and-so, why they dropped so-and-so, and it comes down to the simple fact that they're just saying it was simply finances as well. And like I was saying before, I totally understand, because HisWattson is a player that as much as it sucks, he goes on to say that, like, Vaxlon was like one of the best players on the team, if not the best player. Why would people think we wanted to drop him? That's insane. And I agree, because I think that while Vaxlon obviously was clicking with his roster, on paper, HisWattson is the only thing that makes sense if you have to go with that option, right? Like, I understand why the FaZe thing didn't work out, because Snipe Down doesn't really make sense with Madness and Keon, in my opinion. Like, it's just a total different dynamic. It's controller for mouse and keyboard player. It's two different play styles. It's a different pacing. It's a different dynamic. HisWattson seems to really be able to possibly replace that role, and there's already chemistry there that existed. this just makes the most sense after all of these, theories were going around as to what was really happening. It's an unfortunate, crappy situation. Madness explains that as well, saying obviously it just simply sucks. But at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. And that's just basically the rock and the hard place that they were stuck in between. And also, I mean, I have an article as well about the phase offer as well, but we've already talked about that. And interesting to see how this FURIA roster moves on. Also want to make mention, just as we wrap the video up, a little bit of a weird one. Monsoon actually has hinted at the ALGS complexity roster, apparently, and I did not know about this. No one that I spoke to knew about this. No one has heard any kind of announcement coming about this whatsoever. But shout out to Zach Mazer, a little bit of a goat, who's basically been spreading all kind of stuff. I mean, this man's on top of the FURIA roster changes. He's been talking about all the theories as to why FURIA would be picking up HisWattson. He was on top of this stuff way ahead of everybody else. And Zach, honestly, we need to hire you over here. He's a good news guy. Honestly, he's found a way to get all of these clips. And so this one was a little bit different. This one was actually coming from Monsoon's stream, and someone had asked in his chat, basically, I have a question. Do you have an official team for Pro League, or are you still trialing for people? And is it still confidential? And of course, this is what Monsoon had to reply with. Roll the clip.
My favorite cop out right now is when someone comes in my chat, tells me I'm playing poorly.
Still confidential? You're looking at it.
Streams and say, bro, I'm MNK, and here are my previous streams. I'm fucking tired.
So not much to go into that, but basically he says you're looking at it, and you're looking right now at a rank squad that's being played with, and it is as follows: Monsoon, Kimchi Lee, and Reptar. Now Reptar, obviously no stranger. Kimchi Lee, no stranger as well. These guys are all pretty, defined players, coaches. Basically, he's been coaching complexity for quite some time. Reptar's also been playing comp for a while as well. Also a very high Apex Predator. At one point, I thought he was #1 this season. I'm pretty sure he might even still be. I'm not sure. But these guys, obviously, I gotta say, this is not on my bingo card. I was not expecting this roster. I don't really think anyone is looking at this roster as, holy crap, they just got better. But I do think they're good. I think they're capable, but they're going to have to prove people wrong. I think that's the place that they're in. And if they all believe in each other and they all really, vibing well together, then props to them. That's like the name of esports at the end of the day, is trying to prove people wrong. So this was posted about a week or two ago, and no one's been talking about it. And of course, there's no official announcement. I want to clarify that as well. Complexity's not spoke about anything. Complexity has not said anything. There's been no official Twitter post or anything like that. So that's just the theory. That's just what people are talking about. So interested to see what you guys have to say, of course, down in the comment section below. Of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related. And until the next time, we will see you all later, Gators.